and
Okay.
we're very excited to go for a walk with you. Okay? I've gotten a lot of comments already. All right, so thanks again for being here, and take it away.
Good morning. My name is Martha, and I'm going to be talking about coaching through learning walks. This is part of a research study that I have been conducting, and I would like to share with you today during this morning. So please feel welcome, and also be ready to switch a role as educators. Okay. The first thing that I would like you to think about is think about you as a learner. What can we do when we understand? And in that case, forget about your teacher's role and think about how your students are learning or they need to learn the knowledge that we just share in class. So there in the slide you have the two main sections. One of them is if you really understand something, what can you do with that knowledge? So you're able to use it, explain it, develop, apply, analyze, compare it, etc. And on the other side, you have the other part of the question. If you know a lot of stuff but don't really understand, you can only, and there you have some other actions like name, sequence, list, memorize, repeat, paraphrase, classify, etc. Why is this important? Why we can match the way we are giving our classes with why our students really need to learn something. And this is the beginning of this topic because it is based on two approaches. The first one is understanding by design and the use of coaching for self-reflection in the case of educators. In the slides you have the 3 stages of learning, which are acquisition, meaning making, and transfer, and you also have some examples that educators give in our during the assessment, either formative or. The first level, or the basis, is acquisition. Our students can be able to attend of the verb start. They can name the habitat, they can read fluently, or they can even record information on a timeline. And as I said, this is a very basic. And then the other stage is meaning making. This stage demands more time and practice. In that way, we have the deep reading for understanding, the revision of thinking, and as a plus, demands from our students to have that personal connections. That's where our students can say, okay, now I really understand this. Because as you see in the slides, you have some examples, such as students discuss what is fair and unfair. And let me point something here. It's student discussion, but not teacher discussion. Okay? And finally, the last stage of learning is transfer. And this transfer stage involves the application of the content learned in a different context. In that way, we can really know as students, and I'm going to show you in the next slide. There you have a summary of the 3 stages of learning that are part of this approach of teaching for understanding. And our students are ready to apply that knowledge. That's why you have a suitcase in the slide. Because in that way, our students are to take that knowledge and apply it in different contexts. Moreover, they can also apply it in the real life. And that's the purpose of this approach. Now, the point here is, why is this teaching for understanding related to the learning? Learning walks was, it's not something, actually this is like a friendly and newer version of walkthroughs or class visits that that are not part of a summative evaluation for teachers. With this, I mean that this can be as a formative evaluation for educators, because we tend to work in isolation. This new approach was developed by Maria Gillot and Parker. They are already cited in the slide, and this is a common understanding of our teaching practice through dialogue and mediation in a group discussion. Okay, and I chose also the picture of these doors in a school, because that's the purpose of these learning walks, is to have the trust in being invited in a class without a non-judgmental criterion. And let me explain a little bit about the protocol of these learning walks. This is a very formal protocol. The first part of this protocol is the coach. It can be a coach leader, could be a coordinator, a head of area, or any person that works as a school administrator, that in advance arrange a date with a person or the teacher that is going to be observed in the class. In that part, the first step is arrange that appointment with the teacher in order to let know what the class will be about, the time that we're going to be there, and in that way, this is not something that the educator is taken as a surprise, that they were not told that they were about to be observed. And as you see on the slide, there's just a common picture where during the learning walks, this is the coach leader with other teachers. By the way, if I have one of the teachers in their classes, they already know that the coach leader and the other teachers are about to enter the class. We just wait for a sign, and then we enter the class and have like a snapshot to analyze what the task is being done and how is the student immersion. This observation takes around 5 to 7 minutes. And there you have the 6 questions that the teacher observers, the ones that enter to the class, need to ask to one of the students. That means if I am with 3 teachers, each of them will choose any of the students, and they ask those questions. During the research that I have been conducting, I use these questions in Spanish because I was allowed to do it. In that way, we can even have students more comfortable with their own answers. And the questions were very simple. What are you learning? What are you being asked to do? How is this something related to something you already know? In that way, a student is able to connect to their prior knowledge. What will you do with this information? Why is it important to know this? And there you can even see if, how much information they have and how useful they think what they are learning is. After that visit in the class, the other part of the protocol demands that the coach leader takes the teacher observers out of the class and go to a different, could be a room. But during that walk, we don't talk about what we observe. Besides that, we never take notes. We never record anything in the class. And moreover, I think that you may have even saw the teacher. We never evaluated what the teacher was doing. And then we also have the other questions. This is called debriefing question session. During this session, with the coach leader, those are the questions and that are asked to the teachers, so they can match what they have solved in order to analyze the task that they observed was at one of the three stages of learning: acquisition, making meaning, or transfer. How much of the student immersed in the activity? What was the release of the responsibility? And one of my favorite questions is the last one, because even though we may not be familiar with that term, kick it up a notch, what could the teacher have done to kick it up a notch? I rephrase it to, what if you have to design the same activity, what could have you done to make it better? And in that way, we take the teacher observers to a self-reflection, and they see themselves as as facilitators. As I said before, we don't judge, and that's a summary of the learning. And I think this is very, very useful. I would like you to, I invite you to maybe create your own team, because this is not for observing or evaluating teachers. This is just to promote and take our learning to a level instruction, which could be better for ours. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to share what I have been doing recently.
Okay, Martha, that was great. Sorry, I have to cut you off. Your time.
Okay.
Perhaps instead of walks, you should do a run next time.